I know it looks like I work at the New York Stock Exchange. I just like to come onto the exchange when Lance is on and I tell everybody to get lost because Lance is in the house.
All right, Raleigh, I think I am good to go. Let me just post this on Telegram. Give me
Okay.
2 seconds.
So Sandra's asking a question. Do you prefer to trade in Thinkorswim or Schwab? Well, actually, Schwab bought Thinkorswim. So they own that. Now, Schwab may have another platform, but I think they're even ditching that in favor of Thinkorswim. They had another platform, I remember, but I mean, charting software. But Schwab bought TD Ameritrade, and TD Ameritrade owned Thinkorswim. So Lance, begin way back at the beginning of this presentation, you were kind of excited to see Ally Financial popping up. Is that something that's still interesting to you? Oops, your microphone's not on, Lance. Just need to get your mic turned on. Let's see here, Lance. If you can hear me, could you turn your mic on?
All right, sorry about that.
There you.
Uh, I've never heard of this stock, ALKT. Has anyone ever heard of this stock? ALKT? ALKT.
No, it's news to me.
Oh God, it's a horrible chart. Why would they buy
ALKT,
ALKT calls?
Alchemy Technology.
They can't get filled on the April call, so maybe I shouldn't trade it. A little sneaky bet. ALKT. How much is it? 86,000? What did I try at? 65? I'm gonna try 70.
They're known for innovations in digital banking excellence.
What does that mean?
I have
Mm.
no idea. And they've
Uh,
won some visionary awards.
Interesting. ALKT. It says that someone paid 70, 72, 75. We'll leave it be. All right, sorry everyone. Back at it. Let's get the big boy and the news flow and everything else. You know what? Let's go over to some names from earlier today. Oh, you know what? Let me see if I can make these a little bit more tighter. There we go. There we go. Maybe move this a little. There we go. A little bit better. All right. Back at the action. So let's do a quick overview and then we'll get to what's moving. Let's just go right off the top. You know, I am salty. I never got Freeport. It's on the highs now. I do feel bad about missing that one. Let's take a look at GameStop. Vol is going up in GameStop, so that's good. Up 4%. What are the options up? Ooh, do we have news? So news came out in GameStop that one of the executives bought 250,000 in shares. And let's see what Toss has. Apparently, their CEO Ryan Cohen bought 10 million as well recently in stock. So he bought Thursday, an independent director bought shares at 25.75. So not too far we're at. So some, I'm assuming that guy who laid out 1.5 million in GameStop yesterday, or girl, we don't know. They 1.5 million, a little over. Um, obviously have a little bit of an impact, right, on the shares and GME. So that was good. Let's get the other shades on. But let's see if we can find some sneaky end of the day orders. Some Tesla calls for next week. Those are going to be about $10 million because they're so expensive. This is why I didn't want to do Tesla yesterday. The calls are down 25%. The puts are down about 10 to 12%. So trying to wait for Ball to come out of Tesla. A little too pricey Ball in it right now. Ooh, Delta? Dell, pardon me, Dell Computers. April 82 calls. All right, let's take a look at this one. Dell April monthly 82 calls. Let's go back to where are my charts? Oh, I took everything off my chart. Whoops. So these are in the money calls in Dell. I kind of like that. Let me get my master indicator up. There we go. Horrible chart, but so does everything. So Dell, these expire next week. How much are they? Dell 82s, probably $4, 3.5. Oof. Ah, yeah, kind of pricey. Maybe Dell. Let's see if they whack some more of them. But ideally, I would like a cheaper option.
Mm-hmm.
$3 is kind of my cutoff, to be blunt. That makes sense. I just prefer the cheaper option.
Mm-hmm.
Good job, Rusty. Yeah, the China ADRs, XPEV, Lee, all doing very well today. There was some news that there was no tariffs on the China EVs. So LI, Lee Auto's up 5.5%, XPEV. Oh my God, XPEV's up 12%. We saw some calls on the penny and news flow scanner. Oh man, did anyone in the option pit take these yesterday? I did Neo calls, but I didn't do that much. XPEV's up 12%. I didn't know that. I was up like 5% this morning. X, 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 SPX, XXP. I fell into temptation from y'all, which I thank y'all for tempting me. I mean, we didn't do too crazy. Where are my charts of it? Here we are. So I didn't go too crazy, but it was good. I mean, I wish I did more. XSP, we're already at 100%. We had about a 100-point cushion, and XXP we're literally just at 100%. I mean 97. So I wish I did more, but then again, I told y'all I wasn't going to do Friday, but I owe it to you. I owe my extra $120 to the temptation y'all gave me this morning. You know who you are. It was Normal, Sandy, who was it? Stacy, I think too. All of y'all temptation ones. Where are y'all? Oh, I didn't turn the camera on or the light on. Y'all know who you are from this morning. Y'all should have said, Lance, do a 10 lot, is what you should have said. Instead of a
Yeah, how
whopping.
come they didn't do that, Lance?
But here's the thing, Raleigh. An extra hundred. I mean, the goal is $200. That's the goal. 100 to $200. So we're not trying to get. Wow, that ALKT is now at $1. Jeez, there must be some panic in that stock. The goal is 100 to $200. So never get too greedy, but there has been days we push more. It just was Friday, and I was just, I don't know. I said, I'm not going to get frisky, but I did one. I felt FOMO. Some people were getting filled, and I was like, I can't get filled. And I had FOMO, and FOMO is a good thing. Sometimes. What is that
Especially
little
like
Mara?
when.
Yeah,
When
I mean,
is it
it's a
good?
good thing, but It's a lot easier than, we spoke about day trading earlier and, how difficult it is.
Hmm.
Um, Someone in the chat said, Jack and Nathan are always talking about selling options. That is correct, especially Jack being a former market maker. But the beauty with high volatility right now, let me see if I'll put it a 1-to-1 so you can see. But with high implied volatility right now, you can get such a good credit for selling premium. And then what happens during the day? So you can see it went down a little bit. Now it's up. But you see what happens to volatility right around 10 a.m. is that it's high. And then throughout the day, you see how it just goes down.
Yeah.
So that's literally the best case scenario. Because even if the stock goes here, 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 that's fine. You give yourself a good cushion. So selling vol, when you sell options, you're selling vol. It is a very friendly thing to do. But with the VIX really over 20, and what is the VIX now? The spot VIX like 45, 37. It was 45 yesterday. So, you still have a lot. I mean, we're able to go 100 SPX points out. And, a year ago, you had to go 20, 25, 30. So it gives you a lot of wiggle room to sell premium and still get a pretty decent credit. But it's just a lot easier than trying to time, um, like we talked about earlier, trying to day trade, uh, index options, SPY or QQQ. That's very difficult. And they did tighten the Freeport calls. Y'all were right. They did tighten those Freeport calls. You see it. Look at them now. They're 10 cents wide, like they should be. Remember this morning how wide they were? They're up 62%. So I'm still salty. But those Freeport calls did well. And then tech is another copper. Keep an eye on copper. Copper has been very, very leading the market. Where's Dr. Copper? Let's pull up Dr. Copper. Copper's up almost 5%. The yen fell. So remember from this morning, the yen falls, equities up, rising yen, equities down. The trend is not doing much. It's kind of scary. Or red flag. Tick is, we went from negative all morning to some positive 1200s. ADD line will be kicking a little bit, not much, something, not much though. But, and then gold's still having a great day. Bonds even kicked up a little bit. There was some little panic in bonds, but they try to keep that under control. Allie was the May calls, and thank you for bringing that up. Allie was the May or the April. Allie was the April 32 and a halves. You know what? They report Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday next week, 17th.
Let's keep an eye on this one. What's the implied move? $3. I'm going to do one right now, just so I remember to do it on Wednesday. So we'll trade this one probably Wednesday. So I just did one contract, so I have it on my book, so I remember. Or you could just add it to a watch list. But let's look to trade Ally
What's the
long.
price on that? Is that $1.25?
120, 125.
Yeah. Okay.
So let's look for Wednesday next week. Are they before? So 416, we'll look to trade it. I usually like to trade earnings the day before, so you can isolate the event. You can trade a run up if you want, but I usually like doing it right before, just in case. I don't know. What happens if banks gap down 5%? Then your options are down 30, 40%. So we'll just make a little note on that one. Ally Bank or Ally Financial. I think it used to be a Warren Buffett stock. Oh, Lord, the onion. Oh, the Onion's back. April 46 calls. The Onion shoes. 46s. Wow. Those are a few bucks out the money. How much are they? Ooh, there's a lot of spreads on this one. Onion, April 46 calls are 63 by 88. Wow. Do we have earnings on the Onion? No, not till mid-May. A little too wide to trade this one. Uh, eh, 63 by 87. That's a pretty big bid-ask spread. We'll look to pass on that bad boy. Uh, yeah, I like that ally. If you don't want to get in now, like me, I just did one, so I remember to trade it on Wednesday. You do have some correlation with the banks ahead of time, but I do like how they wow. They hit the penny and the news flow. Look at last earnings. The stock gapped up from 38 to 41. That's a pretty big move.
Yeah, it is.
And then this quarter, it gapped from 36 and change to, so it does move about $3. This quarter, it slightly down. So if you do a $3 move, which is the implied move is about $3. $3, let's just do 32 plus 3 is 35. So let's just say 34 and a half, 34 and a half. Those calls double. Yeah, it's pretty good risk versus reward. You're risking about a buck 20 to make $2 or so. Yeah, it's a real good risk versus reward. The only thing I don't like seeing is, and of course the market has sold off a lot. I don't like seeing all this open interest that's far out the money because I don't know if they sold these calls or not, but that is a lot of OI that is not working out. I'm pretty sure this was a Buffett stock. Ally was just a long call. Oh, I clicked on something here. There we go. Is Ally a Buffett stock or no? I thought it used to be. I might be mistaken. Let me look really quick.
Yes, it is. Yeah,
Is
Ally is
it?
considered a stock held by Warren Buffett through his company Berkshire Hathaway and includes a substantial stake in Ally Financial.
Well, there you go. Thank you, Raleigh. So that's, I guess it's good. He did sell a ton of puts in Oxy earlier in the week,
Yeah, he did.
which worked out very well. So he
Yep.
collected, I think, 4.5 million. He sold the April 35 puts. So when you sell, there they all. So he sold them, I think, at $2, and now they're 50 cents. So he sold those puts. So basically, he's fine taking shares at 35, or if they stay above 35, he collects around 4.5 million. So pretty good risk versus reward.
Yeah.
For Ally, let me give you that. Then we're going to look at Boeing. For Ally, it was, let's just look at time and sales. Buck 25, buck 25, buck 25. Boeing, I love me some Boeing. I always think Boeing, when Trump first took office, Boeing rallied 100% in 6 months, first term. Boeing, end of April, 160s or 640. I always think Boeing can rally a ton. I might take these. Let's pull up Boeing on the daily. Wow, that's a great. Boeing rallied $20 that day. When does Boeing report? Looks like 420-ish. think we might take these Boeing. Boeing, do we? Yeah, I think we get earnings. 69%. And then we drop down to 64%. Oh, the cats are going wild. I'm going to buy these Boeings and hold them through earnings. How much do they pay? They just went super wide. Joy to my heart. I would love if they were reasonable. 630 to 645. Let's try. We'll try like 640-ish. Oops. Let's try 640 for a couple Boeing. And we're instantly filled. Well, that's good. So we got some Boeing. We'll hold those through the earnings event. They are expensive, I know, but it is Boeing. It's $150 stock, so we're kind of forced to be a little pricey, you know. You can't be perfect on that one. So a little Boeing. And oh, here we go. Earnings are 423. So you have the implied vol run up into earnings as well. Not the cheapest option, but can't get too picky. It is Boeing. So Boeing, that's the end of April. Let me just type this in the chat. Oh, look at you. Raleigh already got it. And that's a call option. Let's see what else. Boeing, we did very well on Delta earnings, an airliner. I think we're getting some of the other airliners here soon. Oh, some of y'all mentioned the Jets. Let me see if they got a good bet ask. I do like United as well. Could play the Jets ETF and you get all of them. Wow, the Jets ETF is kind of illiquid. Wow, look at that. 85 by 177 on an ETF. Okay, well, this is weird. Well, not going to touch that. A little too wide for me. Can you do the 170s for Boeing earnings? Sure, Susie. They will be cheaper, but a lower probability. Or you could do like the call spread. So you have a 17-point implied move. Let's just make it easy math. Let's just say 15 points. And then we'll round down for Boeing at 155. So that gets you right to 170. So yeah, you can if you want cheaper. Or you could do like a 160, 170 call spread. You could do that too. So the goal, if you play a run up into earnings, you're looking for, let me see if I can pull vol up here. You're looking for the stock to rally and volatility to rally. So it's kind of a double whammy if you're right in a good way. So usually ahead of a stock's earnings. So we could get it here. You have volatility rise up until the earnings event, which is good for the price of options, calls, and puts. And then you have an earnings post volatility dump. So ideally, you want volatility to go up into the earnings event and the share price to go up. So you make money on volatility and direction. And then if that works, sell half and then keep a small runner into earnings. More XPEV. Man, they love this China EV stock. XPEV, the 20 and a halves. This stock has been on fire too. This is a EV. I'm going to probably take these because there's 5 minutes left in the day. XPEV, what are they? 8? Well, shit, a lot of stuff's coming in. 8, what were they? April 20 and a halves. Oh, they're wide. I'm going to do the 20s. and XPEV. April monthly. God, they just went wide. I'm just going to try the 20s at 114. Let's just see. The market is so wide here. I'm just trying to thread the needle in something. I got filled at 110. Oh, wow. So XPEV, I like these in XPEV. XPEV, we saw this one yesterday. Actually, we just spoke about it. And the China EVs, China ADR EVs. That's XPEV April monthly. So next week, April 17th, 20 calls. They did the 20 and a halves, but they were super wide. So you could do, I mean, really anything you get filled on, really, I think is fine. You could do the 20 and a halves, the 21s. Okay, let me try the 20 and a halves. Just curious. Maybe at 88. Oh, I got instantly filled on those too. So really, any XBEV, any next week XBEV. I don't think you get earnings though. This is just a play on really China. China EVs have been strong. Neo LI XBEV because well, I guess there was no tariffs on China EVs. But then again, we don't even get China EVs here in the States. So anyhow, some NVIDIA calls. That's a nice bet. NVIDIA April next week 11s. It's a solid bet for NVIDIA. If you like, they're probably pricey. 360. That's a nice NVIDIA bet at the end of the day. I don't mind it. You know, if you do trade NVIDIA, you're basically trading the stock market, the QQQ. So, just know that. If you are trading NVIDIA, you're basically trading the QQQ. All right, we got about 2 minutes left, and I do not have a water. Wow, I forgot it. Any questions so far? Feel free to post in the chat. We will get you hooked up. Let's see if anything's moving. Wow, so I went from no positions to, wow, you're right. Boeing is up about 5%. Why didn't we do 100 lot? Because it only costs $66,000. But someone is scalping Boeing as I talk about it. Looks like ALKT, we're not getting filled on. Boo, boo, boo. Tiger's up 20%. Oh, yeah, the Tiger. We did Tiger in the option pit. I guess we'll hold on. Why not? We'll hold on to it. I didn't do a lot of them. I only did a 10 lot. NVIDIA, solid bet if you think the market rallies next week. I mean, or the Qs, I should say. The chips were very strong today, though. The semis. AMD was up a lot as well. Of course, you do have weekend risk. You never know what's going to happen. So that's why we're going a little small today. It's just a private Telegram channel that we did. It's not a lot of people, though. I think maybe a couple hundred. That's it. Where's my GameStop? Oh, up 5%. They whacked those GameStops yesterday. Calls are now 173 and the 27s are 275. I'm holding them. I don't know if that's smart, but I am. I sold a lot. Oh, I sold a lot of GameStop today. So we got a little end of day rally. Joy. Where do you make the SPX daily calls? It is something I've been doing for a couple months now. And we're still testing everything, so it is not official. Um, so this upper study will give you the market makers move, percentage move, and range. So at 10 a.m. we do it when volatility is at its peak, and then we try to do about 100 to 200 bucks a day, 250 bucks a day in it, with about a 75 to 80% probability each day, and they expire the same day. And really, you just need the S&P to stay within a range. So we gave about 100-point range today. Or you could do the XXP, which is the mini one, mini SPX. Is the SPX. But we tried making the study. So a little update if you don't know, or if you're in testing it out with me. We couldn't get, so the market makers move is gone now because it's after hours, but it also works on SPY. Just SPY, there's no tax advantages. So I'm not an accountant, but consult your accountant and stuff like that. But just like futures, SPX and XXP, they're indexes. So there's lots of tax advantages and there's no assignment risk, which is really good. But it's just I would say a lot easier, a lot more simplified way of trading the zero DTEs than trying to day trade them directionally, which is kind of like finding a needle in a haystack. But the bad news, Jeremy, my trade analyst, confirmed this, I think it was yesterday, that for trading view, it cannot be done. So there's the benefits if you want to know. But for trading view, we cannot get data because there's no option chain with market maker move for trading view. So can't do it for trading view, but you could do it on any broker account. You just can't get the signals on trading view platform. But you can do these in Robinhood, Schwab, Fidelity, E-Trade, any major broker platform. Yep. And the study is not available yet or anything. We're still, like I said, working on it. And hopefully, though, in the next week or two. But yeah, we did run into a hurdle with some intel last minute. We did run into a hurdle with TradingView. And I don't think it can be resolved because they don't have option data. So, sadly. The Onion is the on-cloud shoes, which I hear very good things about. I hear very good things about them. Yes, Zoom user, yes. Give me a couple weeks, though, before all that jazz. So I do need just a little bit more time. I don't want to rush anything and all that. Oh, yeah, I forgot we have YouTube. Wow. YouTube chat, sorry. I totally ignored y'all the whole time. Oh, good job, Kathy. That's all you. Were you one of the ones who tempted me to do it this morning? Kathy? I mean, I'm not mad. You gave me an extra $100 or 120. I feel like I should give $120 away now. Yeah, $120. I did one contract. Right? Where does it say quantity? I just did one contract of each. Yeah, literally one. One. But thank you. But yeah, I just saw the YouTube. I totally forgot, Raleigh. I think because you're here, Raleigh, and usually you're not on YouTube.
I have to talk to my agent about that.
Yeah, Raleigh. I with you here, I forget, and then the YouTube, it's still a little new to me at the at the 3:30 time period. Mm-hmm. So Monday through Friday, 3:30 on YouTube. There we go. Today was a little crazy because we did Shadow Trader at 2, and then we just kept the room all open the whole way through.
Yeah, so there's a question there. How do you, Zoom says, does anyone know how to replace Zoom with my name? Yeah, I think if you just go to your name and just like right click, then it says, rename.
What's that, Raleigh?
No, we had if you highlight your name, we have somebody that a Zoom user says, how do I change this to my real name? You Zoom user to real name. So for example, if you go to your name, and I think if you just, there's some little dots to the side, you have an option to rename yourself. Nothing to do with
Oh,
nothing to do with trading. But if you come in as Zoom user, and you want to change your name, you just click on your
wasn't the
name.
VIX? Oh, hold on. Let me explain this for the Fritz. I love that name, by the way. Um, was the VIX up today? So let me go over it. I will expose everything. Just don't get me canceled. No, don't get me canceled on YouTube again. Okay, so let me try to explain it one more time, or and let me try to explain it. Here we go. So, and I get this is probably the most common question I get. So look at the VIX on a 15-minute time frame and turn off extended hours. When you do that, look at the opening price. You know what? I wonder if I could do like a. I can't. It will work. Look at the opening price. So this is the VIX open right here. If at 10 a.m. that will be the close of the 9:45, so 10 a.m. right here. If the VIX closes lower than the first 15-minute candle, you want to sell bull put credit spreads or get long. So today we closed lower from here. So we were lower. So therefore, we'll look to get long or to sell premium via bull put credit spreads on the SPY. So what that will do is give you, or XXP, whichever one you prefer, or SPY. So what that will do is it will give you, take this line off. It will give you an up arrow, get long or sell credit spreads. So you want to sell a credit spread to the market maker move, which has been around 100 points for SPX or 10 points for SPY. So you'll give yourself a cushion. So let's say you did SPY. Let's just say we were at 425 for easy math, or 525 for easy math. And we had a 10-point implied move today between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m. So you would go to 525 minus 10. That'd be 515. So you sell the 515 put and buy the 514 put and try to do about 20 cents to 25 cents. So as long as the SPY doesn't close below 515, you're good to go. Really 514.80, but again, we'll keep it easy. So you give yourself about a 10-point cushion. As long as we don't close below 515, which is all the way down here, and we closed at 534, just about. So you have a lot of wiggle room. We could go here, 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 and you still get your, credit. $100 for SPX or $20 for SPY XXP. But it's really, you don't have to manage it. You don't have to do anything. It's really just, you can do your own thing. You really don't need to do anything. If it goes against you, try to buy it back for like 75 to 80 cents if you're totally in the wrong in the afternoon. But you have about a 75 to 80% probability of being right. Hence why you're getting about 20% return per trade. But I'll fully explain it in details. I just don't want to give everything away because it's not perfect yet. And I don't want to say something and then have to go back and correct it and stuff like that. But we've been testing it for a while now. Oh, Tom, that was it. Thank you, Tom. Tempest has an annual meeting. Tempest is what, Tim? Team? TEM. It does. Well, thank you, Susie. How do you know the implied move? You can look at market makers move on Thinkorswim. It will be at the top. Let me see if I can find a stock so you can see it. So it'll be at the top. Just look around 10 a.m. right here. Or what you can do is add the at the money calls and puts. So the at the money straddle. So that would be like for SPY for Monday, you would add 680 plus 680. Let's just say 7 plus 7. Price of the calls, price of the puts, that's equals 14. Or it will tell you right here, plus minus 14. Let's write that down. Susie says, Tempest has an annual meeting on May 19th. TEM. That is, what's her name? Was it Paul or Nancy Pelosi stock? We saw some calls yesterday, the June 60s. So that would be a good one to write down. TEM. And you said May 16th, which is May monthly expiration and my birthday. I turn 37, I think, or 37. Forgot. I stopped counting. So that would be then. And then I think ahead of time, they probably do have earnings. Or is it too new of a company to have an earnings date? So that's a good one to write down. Looks like they probably have earnings the first week of May, judging by the implied vol jump. So you have kind of a double whammy. I would probably just go out to May monthly options or June, like that trader did. June 60 calls. You could do that too. It's a relatively new stock though, so there's not too much data on it. So good find. Yeah, Team's a good one. Team is a good one. TEAM. That's been a pretty big mover and a good one too for us. What else do we have? How do you know we did that one? Oh, well, thank you, Kathy. And yes, Kathy, did you get all the XXP SPY stuff or XX SPX XXP stuff in there? If so, start testing it out and let me know. Let me see if I can pull it up for you. Ooh, man, there's so much stuff in here. Oh, here it is. Go to the very, yeah, hold on, let me try to fit it on the screen. Just go down to here, the beta XXP. Enter the, well, in the video I show how to install it, but you can either copy and paste the code or just click on the link and start testing it if you want at 10 a.m. every day. And let me know. Trying to get as much feedback as possible. Oh, thank you. Joe says it was about 2 weeks ago in TEM. No, I prefer Zoom user and from not the open at 10 a.m. because sometimes there's economic numbers at 10 a.m. So that will be accounted for in the market maker move. So I usually like right at 10:01 to be exact. And then if you have news, implied volatility is the highest at 10 a.m. So you want to ideally sell the highest implied volatility and then have it kind of just decay throughout the rest of the day. Does that make sense? John, have a good one. Is it a Padron or Arturo Fuentes? Oh yeah, copper SCCO. Thank you, Wes, for mentioning that as well. SCCO is Southern Copper Company. The only issue with that one is not as liquid as Freeport. Um, yeah, the options are pretty wide. Yeah, check it out and then watch the video and then try doing it right around 10 a.m. Technically 10 like 01. And then we'll probably have finalized details on it probably by next week. Uh yeah, probably next Thursday, Friday, I would say. Probably do that. Yeah, I would say something like that. A week or two. Okay, Raleigh. Wow, I just saw it was 416. Uh, I feel bad. We kept Raleigh almost 2.5 hours. Wow. Well, let me go. Whoops. We went a little long. Susie, good question. So, ooh, if volume is the same as open interest, so that's a really hard question to answer. Um, hmm. Let's go maybe to Boeing as an example. This one has pretty liquid options. So if volume is the same as open interest, I mean, pretty much identical, then they could be closing the option, and you could look on. Boeing's not a good example. Let's try XPEV. What did they do in XPEV? May. So let's say hypothetically, there was there's 2,116 on the XPEV May 20 calls. And let's say volume was 2,110. Very similar. Good chances are they were probably closed, or you go look at time and sales and sort by highest. And if they're red or pink, they were closed. Or let's say going back to that 2,116 was in volume, and then that was open interest. And then let's say you saw 2,000 at the 24 calls. They might have sold these and rolled up and bought the 24s. It's easier on stocks that don't have much volume to see because it's kind of can be a little cluttered. But I would say most large traders, if it's like a Nvidia, AMD, Tesla, Microsoft, then yeah, they close. But I would say most large traders are using the option to get into a stock position. Here's a good example. So this is XBEV. These expired today, April 11th. You see how there's all this open interest on the 18 and 19? Some of these might have been closed because these expired today. But there's also a good chance if these calls were bought, the 2,498, that this person is just using this to take a stock position. So they'll be assigned stock at 18 per share. And then they'll take the stock. So for every option, that would be 100 shares of stock. So that'd be, let's just do the math calculator. 2,498 times 100. So that would be a 250,000 share position, just about times the current underlying stock price, which is 20. So about 5 million worth, 5 million stock position of 5 million value stock position, not shares. So I would say the shorter dated options, if they're in the money, the person is probably taking a stock position. If it's out the money, volume similar to open interest, probably closing. Or you can look at time and sales technically, but that would probably be the easiest way. The only issue is a lot of people don't like to sell their option position in an illiquid stock, because if someone's selling that many options, it's usually going to make the stock go down, because they are kind of making the market. Richie, we'll have another training next week. Today was a little chaotic. I do apologize because the exchange was down, especially, both the exchange was down. So we'll try to book it next week as well. Yes, Sandra, it will be recorded. Oh, and it will be on YouTube, actually. So if you want this, as soon as I finish this here, it will be on YouTube. It takes maybe like 5-10 minutes, but let me post the YouTube link. So if you're in the Zoom, it'll be on my YouTube as well. I totally forgot about YouTube. I apologize earlier. Out there. View YouTube. I love it. What a username. All right. I think that is it. And I think Raleigh left us, so I have to shut down. Let me figure out how to do that. All right. Thank you, everyone. Have a fantastic weekend. I'm famished. Maybe I should go to Texas Roadhouse. One just opened over here. Thank you all. And we'll get back on it on Monday. We'll be live 3:30 again. And if anything sooner, they'll send a text, email, and telegram. Thank you all.